2022 saw the LIV Golf Tour rise to prominence, but now, with a new golf season about to start, the silence is deafening. The Upstart Tour has been making waves in the pro golf scene, but now we find ourselves in a suspenseful lull, eagerly awaiting the next move. Loyalists of the PGA Tour may exhale a sigh of relief, but for devoted LIV fans, it's a tantalizing hint of what's to come or more problems the LIV Golf will face. The anticipation is building as we wait to see what exciting developments are in store. Will the LIV Golf Tour continue to shake up the industry, or will it fade into obscurity? Stick around to find out all the details. Welcome to Golf Links, and remember to subscribe to the channel for updates on new video drops. The LIV Golf League is scheduled to play its first event of 2023 in 6 weeks. But as of right now, it doesn't have a complete calendar released, hasn't set up its 12 four-person teams, or filled up its 48-player roster, is still vying for official World Golf Ranking points, and hasn't revealed any TV deals. We know the LIV season will begin on February 24th in Mexico, south of Cancun, on a resort course created by Greg Norman. LIV Golf, however, has yet to reveal its entire schedule of competitions. Thus far, it has only provided dates for events in Arizona, Australia, Singapore, Oklahoma, Spain, and West Virginia. LIV Golf 2023, however, will begin at Saudi International in only 3.5 weeks. The Asian Tour, which has received significant support from LIV Golf Investments, is hosting the 72-hole competition. The Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, LIV Golf's principal supporter, is the presenting sponsor. You should know that Saudi International is essentially the presentation for LIV Golf, which means that LIV News is far closer than anyone realizes. Cam Smith committed this week, joining Harold Varner, the defending champion and another LIV player. You'll see scores of future LIV commitments if you look at the Saudi International field from last year. Phil Mickelson, Matthew Wolff, Dustin Johnson, and Bryson DeChambeau are well-known names. Then there are the Laurie Cantors of the world, the Wade Ormsbys, Justin Hardings, and Siwon Kims. They were all on the same field, down to Shergo Al-Kurdi, 19, who spent the whole season serving as an alternate for LIV Golf. Therefore, savor this moment if you've chosen to support the PGA Tour in this civil war. The calm won't last for too long, but it will be interesting to watch how much noise LIV can make when it returns to the news. During the previous year, LIV was known for many remarks, activities, pre-tournament news conferences, demands for global rankings, and letters that started with the phrase, "Surely you joke." Still, LIV had the impression of developing even when it was still. One of the reasons the league has gone silent is that it has an off-season. By the time Phil Mickelson unavoidably tees it up at the Saudi International, he will have taken 3 months off from competition. If he misses that preseason event, it'll be 3 months and 3 weeks. This was one of the Livers' favorite features of the tour, and they promised the golfing world that they would want to play fewer games. During his hiatus, Joaquin Niemann spent significant time in Chile, giving Mito Pereira, a fellow countryman, his best recruiting effort. So perhaps LIV has been motivated to remain out of the press recently, and it's possible that the gradual rollout of 2023 schedule information didn't make sense before the holidays. Reporters were informed that the full 2023 schedule would be presented in November, during LIV's team competition in October. When that didn't happen, December was the next obvious possibility. Instead, LIV has only delivered half of its events in sporadic bursts. This workout reminds you of where the circuit was last spring. LIV made announcements about its executive hires, timetable, and supporting musical performers in April and May, and people awaited an open field. But there was news every few days. Norman made promises throughout May. Then, a splash. Dustin Johnson joined the team on the last day of the month. Bryson's turn came 9 days later. The rumor mill churned for 4 months, keeping LIV in people's minds. This brings us to this week, when this is not the case. The absence of high-profile departures from the PGA Tour is perhaps more concerning. Although LIV Golf was thrilled with a large number of players it signed last year, the inclusion of a top 5 player, like the golfer himself, has rejected Patrick Cantlay, and it looks like LIV Golf will sign many less noteworthy players to fill its roster. The official World Golf Ranking issue continues to loom over the league, which appears to have received little feedback on its bid. When the OWGR revealed that a Mexican developmental circuit has been accredited for 2023 following a 16-month evaluation process, and noted its features 63-hole cuts and an open qualifying method, it seemed to be going out of its way to change LIV Golf. Although many people focused on the 16-month wait, LIV Golf claims it should be different from LIV's situation. It has been said several times that the OWGR manual provides flexibility and that a review procedure for LIV Golf is different from one of a 5-year-old tour, as the Mexico circuit has been in operation since 2017, striving to establish itself. On the other hand, the 36-hole cut and qualifying process appears to be a smack in the face to LIV Golf, which has made no efforts to reform its no-cut, locked-in fields. That's not to say it won't change if necessary, but for the time being, the wait continues, as LIV players continue to fall down the OWGR list. The TV agreement also looks vital for the team format's growth and popularity with sponsors. LIV management has stated that they are sure that a contract will be reached, and Sports Business Journal recently revealed that the CW network was a major contender for LIV's new home. While there will surely be jokes about the CW, a significant portion of its afternoon programming is Court TV-style programming. The network is available in over 220 cities across the United States, with many of them having their local news programs. The network is available on most cable packages, and it's important to note that the US Open and British Open's early rounds are now shown on the USA Network, which also carries a significant amount of similar style content. Its first sports product would be LIV Golf, and early signs suggest that this wouldn't be a pay-for-play arrangement, like that with Fox Sports that is now being discussed. The CW would also provide LIV Golf with a lot of exposure, something it desperately needs. However, when everything is considered, the positive energy and momentum from the most recent LIV Golf tournament in October appear to have been replaced by many uncertainties. The departure or forced resignation of 3 high-level executives has yet to help, adding to the uncertainty as the new season approaches. In the month following LIV's inaugural season, Atul Khosla, widely considered one of the prominent minds behind the company, resigned from his position as Chief Operations Officer, only a few weeks after revealing LIV's business concept to the media. When the New York Times reported on Khosla's departure, Greg Norman issued a comment, but LIV made no additional public announcements. At the time, Khosla's bio was still on LIV's leadership homepage, but it has since been deleted. His leadership has been replaced by a group of high-level employees from Performance 54, a golf marketing firm that has worked with LIV since its inception. In the meantime, LIV attorneys have contended that Performance 54 is not an agency for LIV Golf. Furthermore, Sports Business Journal revealed last week that Matt Goodman, LIV's president of franchises, has left the organization. Khosla's departure was announced in the middle of LIV's first off-season, which saw the formation of a new schedule and a gradual release to the public. Although the reason for his resignation is still being determined, Khosla is not the first LIV executive to leave during the show's debut season. Before the start of the season, in May, Sean Bratches, the former chief commercial officer of LIV, resigned from his position. Additionally, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia and Yasser Al Rumayyan, the governor of the fund sponsoring the Upstart League, was subpoenaed by the circuit in the PGA Tour's continuing legal dispute with LIV Golf. The tour responded late Monday with a supplemental motion in response to the PIF, and Al claims Rumayyan that the U.S. District Court lacks jurisdiction over a foreign sovereign wealth fund. The motion submitted in the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of California stated that PIF and Al Rumayyan should not be permitted to do business in the United States merely to conceal themselves behind a shell corporation to elude the jurisdiction of the court. Both the PIF and Al Rumayyan have contended they shouldn't be subject to discovery or compelled to take depositions, since they do not influence the daily operations of LIV Golf. However, in a heavily redacted petition, the tour's attorneys referred to the subscriptions and shareholders agreement between the PIF and LIV Golf, which describes LIV's organizational structure. PIF and Al Rumayyan, according to attorneys for the tour, misstated their primary position in administering LIV and marketing decisions connected to this litigation, and strategically concealed records that demonstrated their control of the fledgling league, according to the attorneys. For the time being, the PGA Tour is holding court, with its season commencing in Hawaii and its association with Golf Channel serving as a reminder of what LIV is up against. This week's newish golf TV commercials include 7 of the top 17 players in the world, which include Max Homa, Colin Morikawa, and Scottie Scheffler. The group has a total of 14 victories, and Adam Scott and Tony Finau are there. Also, there's Justin Thomas, John Ram, and Xander Schauffele talking, not so subtly telling millions of spectators the finest golf is played here on the PGA Tour. Whatever the case of the stalemate between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour, there's undoubtedly a lot going on behind the scenes. So over the next several weeks, there should be a rush of activity and announcements.